Hi everyone, happy Easter. I hope you are doing well. I wanted to pop on here and do a quick video for you guys. First off, just wanted to provide you with an update on my schedule. If anyone has been thinking about booking a session with me, I have next Saturday, which I think is April 6th. Yes, I have Saturday afternoon. I have some availability, but after that, I am going to be very, very busy and doing some traveling, and probably not going to be available to do any sessions until middle or late May. So again, if that's you've been thinking about booking with me, next weekend is going to be the last chance for a while. Or feel free to reach out to me. You can message me on social media or email me at divinelovehealing1130@gmail.com. And you can go ahead and we could get something penciled in for the future. But the main reason I wanted to come on here today is obviously it is Easter. And, Easter is, associated with spring and new beginnings, but it's obviously, a very sacred and religious holiday tied to the resurrection of Jesus. And so I felt compelled to come on here and talk about the true, I don't want to say the true, but really who Jesus was and how he often is portrayed in a different way, than really I think what his message was intended to convey to people. He's often conveyed as this, gentle white man, holding a lamb and living up in the sky and asking to be worshipped by us on Sundays. And, in my opinion and the opinion of others, that's not who he was. And I really I've wanted to talk about this for a while, because I want, people often ask me. I've had people actually message me directly and ask me, do you believe in Jesus? They think because I don't go to church or I, use tarot as a divination tool and I do Reiki. By the way, Jesus was a Reiki master. The laying of the hands, that's Reiki. That's what he was doing. They think that because I do those things and I don't behave as a certain way as society, expects, you have to go to church on Sunday to believe in Jesus. That's not the case at all. So I was kind of, I don't really know how to put it into words to people. My religion is love, and that's what his religion was. That's what all belief is. That's what God is love. If you break down the sacred texts from all across all religions, they often have, a lot of the same things as how you treat people and not judge people and how you love and live from your heart. But I came across this post, actually one of my Facebook friends shared it, and I just was blown away because I thought this is, spot on as far as describing how I feel about Jesus. All right. And, yes, I believe in Jesus. In the spiritual community, he's considered an ascended master, just like Kuan Yin, just like Buddha, Mother Mary. There are, Archangel Michael, gods and goddesses, Athena. I don't know that she's more of a goddess, not an ascended master, but there are, these religious figures, across all, denominations that ultimately attained enlightenment, which is that we all have divinity within us. And when you start to shift away from that, meaning that you turn religion into power over others and authority over others, that's separating yourself from God. But this post, Jim Palmer is his name, and I think he used to be a mega church pastor. I'm not exactly sure of his background, but that's what it looks like. But his words really stood out to me. He's got a public profile. So if you look up Jim Palmer, I'm sure you can find this post. It was shared about a week ago. But I'm just going to read an excerpt from it just to give you guys some perspective when you think about Jesus, to maybe kind of, really when you start to explore your spirituality and your faith, kind of consider this. All right. So again, this is an excerpt. If you want to see the whole post, you can look him up. Jesus was not some sweet, neatly shaven white guy who carried a baby lamb in his arms, picking daisies, patting children on the head, and spouting off sappy stories about being nice. That halo around his head in the picture below doesn't work either. Jesus was no saint. Jesus raised hell against the religious establishment, and his life was a repudiation of the ways religion oppressed, exploited, and divided people. He once drove a bunch of hypocrites out of the temple, wielding a whip. Jesus was not fond of entrenched power structures, political or religious. Whether in the name of God or Caesar, Jesus would have none of it. There was a Jesus before Christianity. That Jesus was fierce, courageous, and unyielding. He stood for the inherent worth of every human being. He denounced the religious lie that humankind was separated from God and told people to find heaven within themselves. Jesus proclaimed another world was possible. He chastised people for sitting around waiting for God to save the world and challenged them to wake up and save it themselves. Jesus rebuked those who tried to make a religion out of him and insisted that everyone is Jesus. He proclaimed that the hope of the world is not floating up in the sky, but it's present in our own hearts. The real Jesus of history was a lightning rod. The religious establishment hurriedly condemned him to death for blasphemy, while the political regime executed him for sedition. So again, there's more, but those were the parts that really stood out to me. And this is definitely not meant to be an attack on anyone who does, worship Jesus and go to church every Sunday. Not at all. I'm just offering a different perspective that there's more to the story. Jesus, Christianity came as a result of Jesus. And Jesus, you talk about Christ consciousness, that's what's coming back, right? And, a lot of people are sitting here thinking that, at the end of times, that Jesus is going to come down from the sky and swoop in and save those who've gone to church every Sunday. And, that is not the case at all. The return of Christ is happening now. It's already here. And it is in, the heart center. It is connecting to him, to all the other higher powers and beings, ultimately with unconditional love that Christ conveyed and emanated when he was on earth, and now as we connect to him. That is what it's about. That is how we can save the planet, right? It's not he's going to come down and save certain people and only those who believed in him. That's not what Jesus was about. Jesus was about loving everyone, as this says. And what really stood out to me was he challenged others to wake up and save themselves. So I just, we're in the, want to remind people, too, we're in the age of Aquarius right now. Things are really starting to shift, and not just in, not just in a religious and spiritual standpoint, society as a whole, right? There's things coming to light about power structures, P. Diddy and, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies out there about certain people in power, and I'm not saying I tie into all of that, or believe all of those crazy things that are out there, but there is some truth in the middle there, right? There are some things when people are in power that, they use to oppress others. And those things are starting to come to light. People are starting to wake up, not only to, the powers that be in society, but the power that we all have within ourselves, right? And so I have a lot of clients who come to me, and of course I'm grateful that they come to me, right? That's what I'm there for, to help them. But, I don't know how many times, I'll see, a Hierophant card come out, which is the spiritual teacher, but it's like that's the divinity within that person, that they're getting signs, they're getting synchronicities, they're having dreams, but they doubt themselves. They doubt themselves because society has told us and taught us we have to go to church in order to connect to God. And the reason I wanted to come on here today is to tell you that's not the case at all. The most important thing you can do is live with your heart. Live with your heart and love. Even if you don't agree with someone, try to find common ground with them, which is the fact that we all have the same mother. I've said this before, Mother Earth. And the most important thing we can do is not only tell her we love her and show her we love her, but find ways that we can start to be neutral towards our disagreements and find ways that we can love each other. So I hope that was helpful for you all. Till next time, take care.